Today I'm going to draw a monster.
Drawing from a still life can be fun and satisfying, but the first thing you want to do is study the still life and find one part that you can make your own. Isolate that part from the background, study it, and then when you're ready, begin to do your basic layout. Now these lines should be done incredibly lightly so that if you need to, you can draw right over the top. There's no need for erasing in this process. It is best to have your paper positioned between you and the object you wish to draw, so you can make constant references back and forth, looking at the object and looking at your drawing. These constant references will help to maintain some form of accuracy as you're drawing. What I try to do is lay out the entire drawing before I even make a commitment to one single line. And once I have it laid out, I can start choosing which lines I wish to enhance. As you're laying out your drawing, consider the entire composition. Think about what is the most interesting part of this setup. The choices are yours. Because I have the light layout lines, my drawing is much more accurate and I can correct it as I go along. As you can see, the lines are starting to be darkened and commitments are now made for different lines. Not one single time have I used an eraser yet. I am constantly checking the model to see if I am doing it accurately. As you're applying more pressure, the lines are starting to get a little bit more pronounced. You can see the tones slowly but surely starting to build up. A helpful tip for me is that every now and then I'll squint at what I'm trying to draw so that the detail is gone and I can see it just as a value change. The darks and lights become much more pronounced and it's easier for me to make those decisions. Your job as a still life artist is to create something worth looking at. Now sometimes your subjects might be something rather simple, like let's just say a plug-in switch. Now the right artist can take a drawing of a plug-in switch and make it very interesting and worth looking at. That is your job. What can you find in your still lifes that'll make it worth drawing and worth looking at? You want to try to achieve a value change from white all the way to a pure black or a pure whatever colored pencil you're using. In my particular case, I'm using a green. Now why do I tend to use colored pencils? For me it seems to blend much easier than a normal graphite pencil. A normal graphite pencil seems to smudge much more easily than a colored pencil, and the colored pencils give me much more control. But colored pencils are much more difficult to erase. But have I erased yet? No. So there is no problem. What I'm doing now is I'm adding a little bit of yellow to my green drawing to hit the highlights of my drawing. As you can see, I was concentrating on all of the shading and the shadows. Now it's time to pop out some of those yellows in the highlight areas. This will give a little bit more vibrancy to my drawing and intensify some of the color choices. Often I'll bring in another colored pencil just to enhance what's going on in my drawing and make it much more interesting. looking at a still life, it's often tempting to go with the easiest thing that's in the pile. Now that is not necessarily the correct way of choosing what you want to draw. Look at what you see in front of you and try to find what is the most interesting thing to draw.